What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars Black Series, the Book of Boba Fett's Black Krrsantan, the proper Black Krrsantan. If you guys remember a while back, I took the comic book Black Krrsantan that they did, that was like just a repaint of that same Chewbacca mold that they've done a million times, and went ahead and customized it to make it a little bit better. And while I'm very happy with how that turned out, it does not hold a candle to this. He needed a whole new sculpt, and he needed a whole new presentation, and Hasbro actually delivered, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to get this one open. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do just that. So getting Santi out of the box here, I gotta say, they really did a nice job. He's not perfect, but considering what the Black Series has been recently, this is a nice change of pace. So it's been a while since I've done a Black Series review. I haven't been getting a lot of Black Series recently. I can't even remember the last Star Wars Black Series I've gotten. I am excited for a couple upcoming ones. I mean, Kiadi, they revealed him months ago. I don't know, or like almost like over a year ago. I don't know why he's not out yet, but Bail Organa, he looks good. Shin Hati, I definitely want to grab her. Huang, I want to grab him, but nothing crazy. Maybe I'll do a whole collective video on them. But here is Santi, and he's looking great, dude. I love that head sculpt. He's got that big, burly head. I think that the white, like, gray overspray and, like, dry brush on the body, it could be done a little bit better. Like, there's barely anything on the back. They did a little bit on the dreads, but I do like that they painted all the clips on the hair gold. That's very nice. They did not do that on the prior comic book one, which was super aggravating. He got his brass knuckles that are painted actually pretty good. I really like that. They even painted on the inside of his hand, if you can see that in there. And I love the way that his armor looks. I like that brown streak on there. There's a wash and a dry brush that kind of makes it look like patina on his shoulder pads. You get a little bit of that gray on there. I love his big, thick legs. You get a little bit of like the other Wookiee hair here. A wash on this pouch on his belt. That's pretty nice. I wonder what he's got in there. And then you get his piggies. Kind of wish his toes were painted, and I wish that his hands were painted the color of the bottom of his feet. That's my biggest complaint with the paint, because the dry brushing, sure, I wish there was like some on the top of the feet, on the back, kind of just a little bit more consistent everywhere, to be honest, but it works, you know. I think that it definitely gets the job done, but I definitely would have liked his hands to have this brown paint on there. I'm not really sure why they did it. Maybe it's not accurate, but I'm like pretty sure it is. So yeah, I think the sculpt and paint is definitely the best part about this figure, because it's a new sculpt. It's finally a new Wookiee sculpt, and honestly, make a couple different Wookiees with this. Different colors. Just, I'm fine having an army of Wookiees. I've bought a couple at this point. I paint them a little bit differently, give them different armor pieces, so I'm okay with this. Give us a couple different ones of this, because this is awesome. And I'm sure as hell we'll be getting a credit collection of this guy. Let's all be honest here. I know that that's more of a Book of Boba or a Mandalorian thing, but they're gonna get their money out of this sculpt for sure. Now, unfortunately, everything else about this figure kind of goes downhill. Not that they're necessarily bad, but they could have been a lot better. So starting off, this is the only accessory you get. You get his big old gun, and I do like it. I like that it's a new sculpt. You get a little bit of metallic blue paint up there, along with some red buttons punched in. I like that. There is a little bit of blue that got put on mine, but that's just an accident, and, you know, they're not all going to have that. So I like it, but two complaints. One, it's the only accessory we get, and this is a deluxe figure, and while he definitely is bigger and has a little bit more paint, it's not much, and he's not enormous. So I think a pair of fist hands, especially for a character like Black Krrsantan, would have been awesome. Would have been awesome. And then the second complaint, and this is more of an articulation thing, it is incredibly hard to get him to hold this weapon in a natural way. Like how they have it on the box, I don't know how they did that, because it's, you got to really, really fight with them. Like, the arms just don't bend that way. Like, there's no way around it. They just don't bend that way. It becomes increasingly frustrating when I'm trying to hold him, or like when I'm trying to get him to hold his gun. You gotta really play around with it. It doesn't look horrible like this, but I don't know. I think it could be a lot easier. I do like the gun. I just wish that he came with more and that he could hold it a little bit better. Now, speaking of articulation, the head is barely going to do anything. It's really just going to rotate like that. Like, he's not going to look up, look down a little bit, but like it's really not going to do much, which I'm not too upset about. The shoulders go up about horizontal, they go down, they go forward and back. You do get a butterfly joint in there, which is an absolute waste. I don't know why they even bothered with that. You'd get a single jointed elbow, which instead of a butterfly joint, make a better elbow, whether it's a double joint or whatever. I don't like it. It rotates. And then you do get wrist swivel and hinge, which both have the... This one's got like a weird hinge. It's not like fully vertical, but it's not like fully horizontal neither. But he holds his gun with this hand, so I don't really know. You do get a diaphragm joint in there, which is okay. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. He wish he could crunch forward a little bit more, especially with the armor. Should have had a little bit more range. He does do the splits. He goes down. He'll kick forward pretty good and back. I can't believe I'm saying this. He does not have a thigh cut. That is really, really weird. They're just going to kind of rotate on the ball pegs, which I think it's enough range, but it's just really odd. I haven't seen that from a Hasbro figure in a long time. That's like McFarlane level type shit. And then single jointed knee that barely does anything, but it rotates. And then the ankle goes down, up. It does rotate. It is on a ball joint in there, which I do like that. And it pivots. So overall, it's not terrible, but just some weird decisions. I think the arms should have been a little bit better at the shoulder or at the elbow. And I think the thigh swivel not being there is a little off-putting. It's not horrible, especially that you get the rotation at the knee. It's just not as good as I think it could be. As I mentioned, he is a little bit of a bigger Wookiee, so here he is next to the Jazzwares Fortnite Series Peely and the NECA King Kong. Here he is next to the Dark Knight Returns McFarlane Toys Batman and the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men series Darwin. Now, I will say I think he looks a little small next to the Marvel Legends, but Hasbro's Black Series tends to run a little bit smaller, so I think he'll do okay with those. And then, of course, here he is next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends What If series Zombie Captain America. So at this point, you guys may be wondering, yo, and what are your final thoughts on this figure? And I gotta say, I do really like him. I don't really do Black Series reviews anymore. Usually I do them on TikTok, so if you're not following me on there, go ahead and do that. But I thought this guy warranted his own review. Hopefully it doesn't get as crappy reviews as crappy views as my Star Wars videos do. It just for some reason, I guess there's a lot of better content out there for Star Wars Black Series than mine, and I'm totally okay to admit that. But I don't have a lot of content right now, so I needed to go ahead and get something out there for you guys, and he's a good figure nonetheless. I think the $30 price point is okay for him. I don't think it's like, wow, I'm getting a great deal, but I also don't think I'm getting ripped off. I just think that it's what it should be, or fair, if that's the better word. Could have a little bit more paint here and there. Definitely have more accessories. I mean, I would have been fine with just a pair of fist hands. I don't know why Black Series is so against interchangeable hands. Like, it's so rare that we see it. But, and the articulation's a little weak. But other than that, I'm really happy with this figure. So at a price point around 30 to 35 bucks, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy an 8 out of 10. Not bad, but could have been a little bit better. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot over there, and I have a lot of fun, and I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You coppin'? See you guys in the next one.
What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.